Really hard to push out without giving up a pretty easy play. Does he have a long rail bank here on the 1 that he can play a two-way shot? Probably just pinch him behind the 9 and 8. That's the shot I saw right there. You see how he held the cue ball? That's, and you know, that's what we get back to, trying to play to win a little bit.
A two-way shot, and now this rack could go one way. Hsieh's.
Like maybe a kiss shot on the 9 here. Does the 8 easily pass? The 8 does play. Could have used a little better position, but should be okay. Wants to dig on this cue ball. Come out 2 cushions.
Jeremy Jones picked out the shot. Jayson saw it as well. Length of table bank.
Jayson
that
wins
the entire rack, and with that, Jayson Hsieh, eagle eye, draws first blood against Johann Chua.
Could tuck this one under. That's not his best, and the 1 needs to travel. And a couple times, Jayson's kind of pulling the trigger a little quickly here. It wasn't his best, and Johann Chua with an opening.
Yeah, I think when he does that, when he plays a little too swiftly for his own good, to me, over the years, that's an indication he's feeling quite nervous.
Call.
I know he did that in the early stages of the Mosconi Cup last year in a few matches. He bedded in, of course, but early on.
Yeah, he was awesome in that Mosconi, but and the thing with me with Jayson, I don't mind when he gets down on the ball quickly. You know, he has that rhythm. It's actually when he's down on the ball and kind of pulls the trigger, you know, a little abruptly where the problem lies. And that's most players. More of the routine things, and talk about that with players down the line a little bit, but not with the top guys so much.
And the way this rack has gone, Jeremy, just underlines, reminds us that at this level, a small safety misjudgment, and you can pay a heavy price.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Chua had to gamble on that thin 1 ball on the side. I wouldn't say fortunate to get on the 2. I think he deserved it, really, but it's made a nice clearance since. Filipino players are the most represented here in this 2024 Whirlpool Championships. I think very deserving as well.
Johann Chua wins the rack.
He nominated the push out, unlike Luong dug Tien last night, effectively costing him the match.
Yeah, feel his pain. I've, of course, had a pretty instrumental foul at the wrong time in the Mosconi, and understand it happens to everyone. And I kind of was wondering about that push from Jayson there. And, you know, sometimes you push out to something that's going to be pretty obvious, but you feel like you're going to have a lot in return, you know, whether it be a kick or a jump. That's not the case here. And of course, well executed by Johann Chua. Little surprise there at that push out.
Extension call.
And we know the Filipinos in general well known for their kicking abilities. Yeah, it was a rather surprising decision, that. You called it before you even contemplated it.
Yeah, and of course I was always taught, you know, Nick Varner's the one who told me several times, you have to push out, really trying to have the best percentage to get the push out back, and that was never in question there. I'm not sure what Maybe hit the left side of the 2, let the cue ball go into the 8. That's the only thing I can imagine. Maybe try and create some luck. The 7's going to help him out here, trying to cover up the pocket, or at least somewhat. Maybe this 2 ball does slide in. Got to pinch the cue ball back a bit. Tough shot, that's for sure. Both these players cue the ball so nicely, and their timing is so good. That's what opens up the pocket a bit. We're able to play those shots, each of them with a tough 2 ball in that lower right early in this match.
And you know what places extra jeopardy on this match? Whoever is defeated will go into losers qualification to take on Albin Auschen.
Yeah, I spent a little time in bed last night looking at all the possibilities. Oh my. Wow. Almost just like his opponent that we talked about in the last frame, or maybe it was the one prior, that when down on the ball, he pulled the trigger a little quick.
Well, that was a very poor miss. That kind of mistake. It wasn't a certainty, but it's the kind of pot you expect Jayson Hsieh to bury.
Yeah, and he knew it right away. As soon as the cue ball left, he could see the eyes open. They widened a little bit. The head came up. A little fortunate with the snooker, but Johann Chua was happy to be at the table. And a great hit there. Reverse spin on the cue ball. The 3 dead in the face, holding the rock.
By the way, we went over to table 2, didn't we, for a while to see how Chris Milling was doing.
Extension called.
The man with gout is doing okay. He's 3-2 up on Hsieh of Singapore.
Yeah, Yap's missed a couple. Pretty easy balls so far, trying to settle in. Jayson's going to go with the jump here. I wonder what kind of shot he's going to play. I mean, if he tries to hold the cue ball, banking the 3 away, easy to scratch. Does he try to play the 3 into the 6 and swing the cue ball back around? Yeah, that's why I was wondering about the jump versus the kick, and I just saw a scratch kind of coming either side of that 3 ball.
Please start the clock.
I don't know about this one.
Same pocket as the missed 4 ball previously. Hurtful.
And the table rolled true. Pocket's definitely tightening up, but that one shouldn't have gone, and it didn't. Uh-oh. Bounce here. Did get it. Just caught the 7 a little thick to the pocket. Is that what I saw? That's the only way the cue ball really has that route.
Well, looking on the bright side, at least he didn't scratch, which looked a possibility when he first potted the 7.
Yeah, Jayson's thinking he's got a duck here. He's got to chop the 8, put the 8 on the bottom cushion. He's attacking though, so low percentage. Wow, what a shot. Cue ball speed's gonna be okay. That's why they call him Eagle Eye, folks.
Jayson Chua
I
wins
must
the rack.
say the 8-ball there was simply brilliant from Jayson Chua. What a shot, an early candidate for shot of the day. He leads by 4 racks to 1, and he's set his stall out there.
Yeah, I mean, you can take filler, you can take them all right there, and you're probably at about 20 to 25% making that ball and working the cue ball into position. So, yeah, some pretty special stuff there from Hsieh.
Foul stroke, ball in hands.
That was extraordinary. The 1 ball and the cue ball went into that middle pocket within a nanosecond of each other.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. It wasn't hit poorly. The 5
stop the
just
clock.
slivered the cue ball, and of course Jayson's starting to get the break together. And well,
Play.
man, it looks like he's going to run the cue ball off the right side of the 2. So speed control, very important. Yeah, nice touch overall. Play golf with Jayson in Scotland. Have you ever played with him, Phil? Hits it a mile.
Does he?
Oh, an absolute mile. Or at
I've got
least he
more
did that
admiration
day.
for him now.
He had me by 70, 80 yards most of the day. All right, this beautiful safety and good decision is going to open up a shot for Eagle Eye. I think the rack does play. It's not easy. I think everything is doable. The 6-7 combination, of course.
Momentum-wise, this is a really big rack.
Yeah, especially because it seems both players are starting to tune in on the breaking end, and it's been a tough table to break the balls on this week, and that'll be the table that delivers all the title and the cash and everything else that comes with it. They could get a little kiss on the cue ball here. It's going to probably kind of drag it softly like that.
Don't know what it is with left-handers in sport, but they are so often aesthetically pleasing to watch, and Chua falls into that category.
Yeah,
Extension
fell
call.
really straight here and was in perfect position, or somewhat straight. Was in perfect position on the 6 to gain that proper angle, nice and tidy. So big shot. I like the little extra time here as well. Now, do you go forward with high inside? Very missable. The stun across, very missable as well. He's going forward. Oh, beauty.
Jayson Chua
Really
wins the
sweet
rack.
connection there on the 9 to take a 2-game lead. Crucial. Can he go into the 8? He doesn't really want to baby this. Got to hit it light. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I wouldn't want to baby it. But again, don't mind him getting down on it quickly, but did he kind of pull the trigger a little quicker, just like earlier?
It was a bad miss, but it's actually turned out well.
Extension called.
Yeah, you can't be negative here if you're Johann. Got to pull on some positive vibes, make a good kick shot at the pink. Look at this. He's going to play off the point. Not one you see very often.
Foul stroke.
Yeah. That's a hard one to do, right? I mean, you know, it's a fun shot and all. And again, I'm not saying it's not the right shot at times, but he had options there. Normally, you would shoot that when there wasn't any other options overall.
And to add insult to injury, the 6th ball went down, making Hsieh's life with the dish just that little bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Hsieh would have wished a few more went down during that foul. The only reason you shoot that if you're Johann is if you fear you're not going to execute otherwise. You know, he kind of felt like that was a guarantee, I would suspect. And you know, like you said, the Filipinos believe in what you're seeing and what you can do. They kick at the ball as well as anyone on the planet.
Hsieh has been the better player. I think he's fully deserving of this now healthy lead.
Jayson Hsieh wins the rack.
In fact, he's doubling up on Johann Chua.
Definitely going to attack. I say definitely. Could lock him up behind the 3 pretty easily, but I think you got to go here.
So twice now when he's been playing at very quiet pace, he's missed balls. Previously, he got away with it, but not there.
And I tell you, you're never gonna, you know, put Jayson as any kind of slow player or anything, but you know, you got 60 seconds after the break, and this isn't about hindsight. And not really someone who plays on that too much, but you know, just kind of recognizing how big a ball that 1 ball was, especially with an open run behind it.
6 racks to 4.
So can Chua maintain some momentum? Turn up the heat.
Cue ball.
Foul
Cue
stroke.
ball.
Ball in hand.
So they've each had a very unfortunate kiss. One that we see a lot crossing back over the 9. They become 2 rails for the 7 in the side. That being the brown 7. A little awkward. Doesn't necessarily want to elevate the back end of the cue and really dig, even though he may have to. Like he's going to try and stun 2 rails to get a little cut on the 8. He held it.
In goes
Jayson Hsieh
the
rack.
9 ball. Utterly reliable from Jayson Hsieh. This is a much better performance than his first match a couple of days ago.
Chance to put a lot of heat on his opponent. I think pretty good touch there.
Yeah, the 7 ball he should have potted. That was in rack 5, but the 4 ball he missed in rack 4, that was unforgivable.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to create a little more on the cue ball to get back across, and just took his eye off the pink. Should hit this. I think it's going to do much for him, though.
Also on the hill, Francisco Sanchez-Ruiz, 8-4 now over Kyle Amorotto. He's won 6 on the trot.
A nice shot there. You know, it's always a funny shot to stun the ball when the 2 ball's up, plus you have to come in a tight angle inside that purple 5, so good stuff there from Hsieh. One screw shot here on the 3 should get him in position to advance to the final 64. Still 6 shots remaining, but should take this down, Phil. Now just roll this in, lay on the side rail. Should be pretty natural to play the 5. Now remember the pink he missed when he played it lighter just a few games ago. Got a big roll doing so, but I think you just got to take your medicine there. Trying to take a little more distance here.
Beat Jeffrey Roeder 9-5 in his first match. Jayson Hsieh this a little more comfortable and undoubtedly more impressive.
Jayson Hsieh wins
Given the
rack.
quality and the
9 racks to
CV of
4.
Johann Chua, Jayson wasn't a sure thing to win that match, but he did anyway. And in the end, I think he will come out of it with a lot of confidence. And
trying to use the balls in the centre of the table. I'd like to take that one again. That's about 3 feet short. Just look at all them balls in the centre to not get the hook there. There you see he's nowhere near the hook. It's kind of a big pocket, isn't it? As long as he hits the rail here, Dave, this ball will go in off the brown 7. Played to perfection. That will hurt Appleton because it was such an easy safety shot, and I was just bigging him up as well, saying he's one of the best safety players I've ever seen. Also, what you were saying there, Dave, as well, the early racks, they just settle you in.
Welcome to those of you joining us on day 3 of the Whirlpool Championship here in Jeddah. This is the first rack of the match between Chung and Darren Appleton for a place in the last 64. And Ko is surely going to take it. There's the 9.
Chung
yeah, it was a safety error actually from Darren Appleton that led him in. And Ko looking very assured to take the opening rack.
He is slightly jacked up. To hit a rail. A ball needs to hit a rail after contact, and he hasn't.
Yep.
Julian's not spotted this.
Yep.
Daz knows, he said foul.
Foul shot. Ball in hand.
Daz is one of the most professional sporting players
Please start the
on
clock.
the circuit, pretty much like everyone. Julian just had a little bit of a brain freeze there. Just to confirm the rule, after contact, a ball must hit a rail or go in the pocket for it to be a legal shot. Interesting shot coming up here. I think he's going to send the cue ball into the 9 and the green 6. Hopefully stay on that blue 2. That opens the cluster. Oh, that is delightful, Dave. What a shot he played there.
Yeah, very deft touch that, wasn't it? Nicely controlled in terms of the weight as well as the direction. Well, that was a chance, but not to beat.
Yeah, is this match just starting to slip away? I know it's only 3-0, but Chung looks to be hitting the ball pretty sweet to me. Still expect him to pop this because it's near the rail. He's got to play a good cue ball. Might go 3 rails with the cue ball. A position on the green 6.
Extension called.
Well, this is going to come round and finish absolutely spot on. It's ball in hand territory, that is. Appleton will know this sat in his chair. He'll be thinking, my opponent looks to be cueing well, very well. Everything's just landing perfect.
Yeah, it's the first rack really where Appleton's had even a half chance. He had that chance at the 2, wasn't to beat.
Not the intended pocket. He was trying to slide past the 9.
Well, this is about as dominant a start as you can get, really. He's looked really good in every rack, making very, very few errors, if any at all. Ping Chung 4-0 up in this race to 9.
Appleton's going airborne. Close. Got the cue ball running forward as well to leave distance. But I believe Chung can pop this ball.
Yeah, another example, as I say, things just not quite running for him. On another day, covers the potting angle.
The previous match, Jayson, these big shots in the rack, just like Chung, he was getting down and he was knocking them balls in. The big shots in the rack. You make that big shot, the rest is just connect the dots in 9 ball.
Not a lot, no. It's been about as one-sided as the rack scoreline suggests.
Oh, there you go.
Well, you're always looking for a turning point, aren't you? A potential one, and this could be it.
Yeah, but once you really fall behind like this, you know the pressure is going to be solely on you every ball you play. And of course, Darren's handled the pressure throughout his career as well as any human, really. Got to dig on the cue ball a little bit. Cue a little awkwardly with the long bridge off the side rail. Just got to make sure this doesn't push, get a little thick hit. Oh, he's actually hit it thin. Lost the cue ball as well. Now, he hasn't shot a lot of balls in this match, but knowing Darren, I think kind of pulled the trigger a hair quickly when he was down.
Yeah, the problem is 6-0 down. He was under more pressure to make something happen there.
Just as I said earlier, I mean, every ball when you trail by this deficit is really, you feel like could be a match-ending mistake. And big 9 ball here, though.
Extension
Kind of on
called.
the fence on how he may shoot it. You got to believe he's probably going to dig on the cue ball. That way he can let the stroke out a bit.
Well, that really, I think, the most disappointing rack
Chung
of them all
wins the rack.
for Darren Appleton, the one he was closest to winning, but like the previous 6, it's gone against him. So Ko Ping Chung presses on to 7-0. Surely he's going to be the man who books his place in the last 64 as we go. Oh, wow. And he raises the hand. What a way to finish.
Wins the match.
So Ko Ping Chung takes out the match with the golden break in the last rack. But before that, he played absolutely brilliantly. Darren Appleton had very little look in, and it's a completely one-sided victory for the US Open champion, Ko Ping Chung. Can he add the world title to his CV? Well, he's in the last 64, and he's got every right to be delighted. He's the winner. 9 racks to 0. It's a whitewash.
So, Carl, we've talked a lot
First
about
rack.
Joshua Filler.
Hsieh Chen to break.
His opponent, Hsieh Chia, 30-year-old from Chinese Taipei, who beat Saad Al-Dress 9-2 in his opening match. He's had a pretty good career, has Chen. Highlighted by a run to the quarter-final of the US Open in 2022. Filler is a student of the game, so he'll be well aware that this is no walk in the park. Chen's also a former quarter-finalist in the Asian 9-ball championship. And he reached the last 32 of the World 9-ball, i.e. this event, 2 years ago.
No, that's not a difficult shot, but he hits that shot just so pure, just... But he is. We have a lot of good potters. Of course we do. He isn't at the top of that list. Well, show me who is.
Joshua Filler wins the rack.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the emotion out. Just hope at some point, if Elliot does shout, someone's not on a Hill 9-ball in the arena.
There was an occasion a few years ago where we just come off air and he was still playing and he won his match and he shouted, but it was an expletive and we were very relieved we were actually not showing it.
But take care with this one. Yep. Whenever you're jacked up and you're striking down on the cue ball, upon your delivery, it's easy just to put a bit of unwanted spin on the cue ball.
Yeah, in that case you saw it, right hand side, flick the 3-ball wide to overcut it.
Well, like our previous match, where it was one-sided, this one has got off to the exact same start.
Indeed it has. Joshua Filler
Wins the rack.
has the intimidation factor and the X factor. He leads by 3 racks to 0 in no time.
Chia, Chen, it's your choice.
Yeah, SVB survived a little scare there. It can be a bit funny playing on one of them tables, Phil.
You know, I thought I was sitting next to someone who was talking to themselves. Carl Boyes, all of these years of experience in the commentary box, and he didn't turn his microphone on.
Well, I'm going to get you for that one, Phil. Yeah, I thought my headset sounded a bit funny. That's like missing a straight 9.
That really is a rookie mistake for someone who loves the sound of their own voice.
Kicking at the 1.
Foul
Just
stroke.
misses it. Tried
Ball
to
in hand.
arc it a little bit. You won't be happy with that though. At this level, the players,
Please start the clock.
especially when the ball's over the pocket, Phil, you know, the players, they fancy potting them. You can see it in his face.
With Filler, he's one of those players, like so many greats, he wants to win every single rack. He takes it as a personal affront when he loses the odd one.
Ball is going near this corner. It's not going to go in though. 2 balls open. He can pot it. Don't know what angle he's got to get on the red 3. Miller just wants to be a bit careful here though. Things have gone his way in the start of this match. Obviously we're 4-0 up, still 4-1, but 5-1 or 4-2 going into the break just gives you something to think about. Well, he's queuing down here. He's drawing the ball back. This is missable. Well, must have miscued, Phil. Yeah, he's looking at the tip. He's miscued.
Yeah, that telltale sick sound. And sometimes that can undermine confidence, especially if he's got a shot of a similar type. And after the way he dismantled Bernie Regulario yesterday, 9-1, Anton Raga finding much more difficulty in breaking down Alexa Pachelch, who is 5-4 up. Here it's a 5-9 combination,
Chia, Chen wins the rack.
and Chen is back within a couple at 4-2.
No higher than the young German. Books his place. The final 64. Thorpe will be back this evening. One more chance to qualify. Could have been worse. That's worked out okay. Feels like this match has all been filler, but just these last couple of racks just started to get a little bit sticky out there.
Involved in this round, would they take a peek as to who they would play if they lost the match in question?
I would think some do, maybe some don't.
Extension call.
I know it's the old cliche, isn't it? Just focus on your match, ball at a time and all that, but as long as he's got an angle here, he can get himself on this 9. If it's straight, well, he's going to be playing the 9 in left centre. We've seen a few balls missed in the middles. 9-ball pool players are so used to playing balls in the corners. Should be okay though. Yeah, it's easy. He's going to pull to just one behind with this ball.
Hsieh,
Getting on the 8 easy.
time foul. Time foul.
He must
All
have
in
said
hand.
extension,
You've used
surely.
it.
Oh, he's used his extension. Wow. Oh,
Please start the
my.
clock.
This is the problem. This is why at the start of the event, Phil, I do like the players who have played in Moscone Cups and played in a lot of World 9-Ball Tour arenas, because they manage the shot clock so good.
There was no dissent whatsoever from Chen. He realised his mistake. Much like the failure to nominate the push last night from Luong, it's just a mental lapse, and a very expensive one, it seems.
Yeah, clearly. He said extension, but he didn't have an extension. He'd already used it, and then the beeps went off. He hadn't hit the cue ball in time. It's a foul. Filler with a let-off, though. Because this should have been his opponent clearing the table to tie it up. Instead, Filler is about to steal a rack.
The only thing that
Joshua
Chen
Filler wins the
extended
rack.
was Joshua Filler's lead.
Certainly looking like it was going to get tied up at 4-4, but Chen forgot to play his shot in the allotted time, which resulted in a time foul.
Yes, if you're just joining us, he thought he'd got an extension in the pocket. In fact, he'd used it in that particular rack. And boy, what a difference it has made. (7-3) Filler it is. 2 more
Joshua
required
Filler
now.
wins the
Let's
rack.
take a quick trip over onto table 2, where the end might just be nigh. At 7-7, the Albert Manus Chang Junlin match suddenly became
Certainly looking like it was going to get tied up at 4-4, but Chen forgot to play his shot in the allotted time, which resulted in a time foul.
Yes, if you're just joining us, he thought he'd got an extension in the pocket. In fact, he'd used it in that particular rack. And boy, what a difference it has made. (7-3) Filler it is. 2 more
Joshua
required
Filler
now.
wins the
Let's
rack.
take a quick trip over onto table 2, where the end might just be nigh. At 7-7, the Albert Manus Chang Junlin match suddenly became
Nine ball's close. Oh, it just caught the jaw. Oh, kicking 2 rails, nearly flukes the 9 in the side. Pure, that was pure.
I seem to say this every time we commentate on Joshua Filler, but I think it's worth repeating. We talk about different aspects of the game, about temperament, tactics, cue action, all that kind of stuff. Plenty more besides. But ultimately, if you can pot, that's what you need. That's the most valuable currency.
Yeah, you need to pot well, and you need to have good cue ball control, because let's say if you're not like a strong potter, you know, from distance or them tricky ones. Let's just say you're just a little bit lower ranked than the top boys. If your cue ball's good, it means you get less tricky pots.
And you might say this is just a wee bit tricky, although I fully expect it to be rifled in.
Joshua
Meat
Filler
and
wins the
drink
rack.
for Joshua Filler, who is now on the hill. Joshua Filler.
Rack 12. Joshua Filler to break on the hill, leading 8 racks to 3.
The 9 ball's moving. Is it going to go in the centre? It's another match with a
Joshua Filler
golden
wins
for
the
the
match.
win.
9 racks to
Joshua
3.
Filler.
For the third time on the main table, a match is concluded with a golden break. Joshua Filler knocks in the 9 with his first shot in rack 12, and he defeats Chen by 9 racks to 3. It was all very different after the time foul. From that point, Filler pulled away. He looks very dangerous to me.
Here's another look. It's the cue ball off the side rail, banking the 9 into the side pocket for the W.